Hello and welcome to Stories. Stories is all about sharing successful stories of people around the world. And today I have Miss Leesa from Singapore. Miss Leesa, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. How are you today, Miss Leesa?
Yes, good. Thank you.
Fantastic. Before starting the show, Miss Leesa, we want to know about your background, about your current associations. What are you involved in so that the audience can get familiar with you?
Okay. Well, I am a serial entrepreneur. I am an educator, a mentor, and a super connector. And what does that actually mean? In my day job, I run a venture capital firm called R3I.
Yeah.
We have a investment arm that is funding the world's best deep tech and med tech companies that are scaling their impact internationally. We have a venture building organization that focuses on helping our founders to grow and scale their companies across borders. And of course, we have within our ecosystem the House of MedTech and House of Deep Tech, which is a safe landing pad for companies to land and expand internationally from Singapore to Luxembourg to Silicon Valley. When I'm not in my day job, I'm the mother of two beautiful children, aged 3 and 5, Sarah and Sebastian. And I've been here in Singapore on the ground for the last 8 years, but in the market for the last 25 years, just to show you my age. And I am an adjunct faculty member of Singapore Management University, IE Business School, and moonlighting at this moment at SMU Cox in Texas.
Fantastic. So that's a multiple challenging roles you have. I think within 24 hours you would be running here and there. And I remember of Elon Musk, who is scheduling his job within 5 minutes each. So that's a fantastic achievement throughout the day you're doing. So when we talk about these achievements, there would be some passion, there would be some drive within you to complete each task to its best. So, what is that success statement? Would you like to share with us?
Well, we measure success by impact.
Yeah.
And so on the medtech side, it's how is our innovations transforming, improving patient outcomes and saving lives? It's how is our innovations reducing the number of days hospitalization, rehospitalization, or over hospitalization? How is our innovations transforming value chains for transparency to drive out corruption and middlemen in the ecosystem?
Yeah.
And this is how we measure ourselves on the medtech side. On the deep tech side, it's how we're transforming societies. For every dollar that we invest, what does that equate to in terms of jobs, both direct and indirect in the ecosystem for economic impact in our communities? What does that look like in terms of supply chain impacts? Because that has an ongoing supply chain effect. And how much tangible dollar value did that create in new economic growth in that community? I'm a board member of Runway in Australia. It's a rural Australian accelerator supported by the Victorian government. And we were set up to basically reduce social problems in the community. All the big companies had moved out, and we wanted to reduce teenage pregnancies and people's dependency on drugs and alcohol. And by inspiring entrepreneurship from kindergarten through to high school, we create new lives through this purpose.
Yeah.
So that's our mission, is to transform into impact.
Yeah. So it's all about the CSR which we are talking about, and the corporate social responsibility, and while giving back to the community. So that's an amazing thing you're doing out there, Ms. Lisa. When we talk about successes, we cannot forget our challenges as well. Because I know you're a mother, you are having a social life, you're having a personal life. How are you managing all this? Because it's so challenging at times to manage everything and the life-work balance. How did you do that?
Well, there are three cultural styles based on where we grow up and the country that we live in. And Australians are largely linear by culture, which means they generally only do one thing at a time.
Okay.
I married a Frenchman who are also linear. But I actually once built and scaled a global bikini factory out of Brazil, and Brazilians are multi-active, which means that they can do many things at the same time. And when I was a little girl, I didn't sleep at night. My parents were going crazy. And my father put a miner's light on my head and a book in my hands. And he said, if I don't teach you to read, I'm going to die early. So I need you to sleep, or at least I need to sleep.
Mm.
And so ever since I was a little kid, I've obviously been doing many things at the same time, because generally I have 4 hours more daylight than everybody else.
So you're multitasking.
Multitasking and not sleeping eight
Yeah.
hours. I sleep 4 hours.
But still you're meeting that efficiency.
My husband might argue differently. My black eyes might tell you differently. But I mean, I love what I do. And when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right?
Yeah, understand. Completely understand. Before winding up the show, Miss Lisa, for the younger generation, they need motivation, they need inspiration, and people like you can share so much value to them. So, any three, four advices would you like to share with the young audience so that when they are making a switch in their career, it will be beneficial for them?
Yeah, I always share three words of advice, or three pieces of advice. So the first thing that I would always say is hitch your wagon to a star. And what do I mean by that is, in life there are generally three types of players in the company that you work in.
Mhm.
One is someone like me, which sets the vision, builds something from nothing, and goes out and creates possible.
Yeah,
There are others who are just happy to work to live, if I use that expression. They do their 9 to 5, they do a great job 9 to 5, and then they go home and they completely switch off and they never think about work again.
yeah,
They work to live. And then there are others that literally are hoping the spotlight never shines on them
yeah,
because they really wish that they weren't there. And I think, COVID-19 has shone a very hard light on organizations as to who's delivering or contributing value and who is not, because companies have had to be, quite brutal in the way in which they've restrained their workforce with
yeah,
the restraining economics. And so when you hitch your wagon to a star, that is the person who is going for it and creating something from nothing,
yeah,
you have every opportunity. And so, take those opportunities while you can, even if you're not 100% qualified.
yeah.
Um, you can learn, you can adapt, and that's the most important thing. The
Right.
second piece of advice that I would have for anybody
Mhm.
is to remember your leads. That is it legal, both by the letter and the spirit of the law? Is
Yeah,
it ethical based on your local culture? Is it acceptable based on those stakeholders who matter most to the decision you're making? Is
yeah,
it defendable? So if your grandmother asks you what you did today, can you defend it? And
yeah.
very simply, it could be legal, ethical, acceptable, and defendable, but it's just simply not sensible.
Mm.
And the last two decision making criterias is really, does the decision that I'm about to make change who we are as a company?
Mm.
And does the decision that I'm about to make change who I am as a person?
Yeah,
Because you stand for something, right? You have a set of values, you have a reason for being.
mm.
And if you are asked to make a decision in contravention of those values, there'll be great misalignment and dissonance.
Yeah,
So always remember those two globally responsible leadership questions while you're at work is, does the decision I'm about to make in the company, does it change who we are as a company? And
yeah.
does this change who I am as a person?
Yeah, I really wish that this conversation never ends because it's going on so positive and it's having an impact on me. And I'm 100% sure that millions and millions would be watching this, coming up again and inspiring, getting inspired. So, such an honor to host you, Miss Lisa from Singapore. Thanks a lot again. I wish you all the best. You become the best entrepreneur in the future. May God continue to bless you. Give my regards to your kids and give my regards to your husband as well. May God bless them.